Hi everyone, my name is Kristina and I'm coming to you from the Portland, Oregon area, and welcome to Finding Serenity in Stitches. You can also find me on Instagram as Serenity in Stitches, and I've only posted a couple things on Instagram. I'm going to try to do more of that since I've got a YouTube channel now. Today I'm drinking some refreshing ice water out of a beautiful mug that my daughter brought me back from Tulum, Mexico. Isn't that gorgeous? The light is really glaring on that, but hopefully you can see. Kind of there you go. Anyway, my daughter is here on lunch and she just told me it's going to be 85 degrees today. I wasn't expecting that, especially because the evenings have gotten much cooler, and I can tell that fall is in the air, but it's not quite here yet. So we've got some more sunny days ahead of us, which is nice. I enjoy the sunny days. Anything under 85 is nice. Above 85, it gets to be a little much for me. Anyway. Today we're going to do a couple of yarn reviews, and I'm going to tell you about just a couple of updates on some whips that I have, and then my plans for fall knitting. So let's jump right in. The first yarn, I won some yarn from Kristen Omdahl, and you can find her at ChristinaMariePDX.com. She does a podcast every morning, Monday through Friday. And usually I'll catch the tail end of it or watch it once it's posted after her live. And so I'm not sure what time it is, but she's in Florida, so I'm assuming it's a few hours ahead of me. I don't know. Anyway, I really enjoy her podcasts. She's got a wonderful website with lots of patterns for crochet and knitting. And she's got tons of tutorials, lots of cute wraps and shawls, and yeah, she just has a lot to offer, and I think she's been doing it for many, many years. So it's pretty cool to see someone having built up their business, their small business, the way that she has. So I entered a giveaway, and she was giving 4 skeins to 4 different people of the Beso Baby yarn. And I won this color, which is peach, and she also sent me a bag of samples of her yarn. So the Beso Baby yarn is 100% milk fiber yarn. It's 142 yards in the 1.75 ounces, which is a 50-gram ball. It's $3.99 each. She does have the buy more, save more on her website for all of her yarns, which I think is something she did that's new, or that's recent. I think maybe about a month ago, I remember her announcing that. So if you buy 10 balls of yarn, you get 10% off. There's additional discounts depending on how much you buy, but you can check her out on her website. I did do a swatch, and here is the knitted swatch. You can see it's got great stitch definition. I did some some garter stitch, and then I just did the knit 1 row, purl the other side. What is that called? Stockinette. Yeah, it's a lovely yarn. It's so soft. The milk fibers must do something. You know what it reminds me of is bamboo yarn. And I did notice it was split. It was a little bit splitty. Not as bad as the Kobu that I'm using to make my Ranunculus with. But it's definitely a yarn to try out. In her sample bag, she included a sample of a different color of the Beso Baby, this beautiful chartreuse color green. And I don't remember what it's called. Now, this swatch is knitted, and this swatch here is crocheted. So all my fiber friends can take a look and see if that's something that they would be interested in trying. But you can see how I just did a couple of rows. What did I do here? It looks like I did one, I guess it doesn't matter. I think it's a single crochet, double crochet, and then another row of single crochet. So it's a small sample that you get, but it's enough to give you an idea of the yarn and if it's something that you'd like to use in the future. So the Beso Baby yarn is, to remind you, it's DK weight. The recommended hook size is 4.5 millimeter hook, and the recommended knitting needle is 3.75 needle, and I used the recommended hook and the recommended needle for the swatches that I did. And so yeah, I'm gonna take a look. She's got some great fall colors, and she also has lots of nice spring summery type colors. So she kind of has something for everyone. I did look at the samples, and another of her yarns that was included in the sample, this is a 100% milk cotton yarn. So I went ahead and created a sample swatch in the Beso Easy, and these come in 100 gram balls. So you can see the great stitch definition of the Beso Easy yarn as well. And again, that's bulky weight. It comes in 25 colors, and it's $6.99 per ball or skein. Number 5, bulky weight, 100% milk cotton, 145 yards. And her discounts for the Beso Easy, 5% off when you order 5 to 9, 10% off when you order 10 to 14, 15% off when you order 15 plus. So that's some discounts there. I think this would make a lovely garment, a lovely chunky sweater or cardigan or a wrap. It's very nice. Now the Beso Easy is definitely softer. Excuse me, Beso Baby. I can't keep up with the different names unless I'm looking at them. So this is the Beso Baby, and this is the Beso Easy bulky weight. And yeah, on her website also, ChristinOmdahl.com, she has tons of patterns for knitting, crocheting. She's got some lovely patterns for some shawls or some wraps, some garments that you can use or accessories you can use as a shawl or a bathing suit, you know, cover up. And all of her patterns are $1.99. And all the knit ones, all the crochet ones, they're separated out. And then all of her yarns have the discounts, and I think that's something that she's added to her website recently, buy more, save more. But oh, and she says here, premium crochet patterns, figure flattering fashions from $1.99 each. So I guess that means that some of them are more than $1.99. I thought all of her patterns were $1.99. Maybe she combines some. Yes, she combines some, and then for the bundle it would be maybe a little bit more. So I encourage you to check her out, whether it's Monday through Friday in the morning, and she's actually on vacation now, and she's starting back up in September. I don't remember what day, so we'll have to take a look. I'm sure it's posted on her website or her YouTube channel. So those are the Kristen Omdahl yarns. The other yarn I wanted to talk about today is the La Mia Just Wool. And this is one of the yarns that I purchased from Hobium. And when I did the yarn haul and got tons of different kinds of yarn. So this La Mia Just Wool is 100% recycled wool. 50 gram ball, you get 125 yards. And let's see here. I guess my glasses would help if there's anything additional. Recommended knitting needles 4 to 5 millimeter, and crochet hook again 4 to 5 millimeter, and hand wash, don't dry. And I did do a couple of samples. I'm using one of them as a little cozy for my ice water here. Okay, so here is the crocheted sample. Now, because I was working with the Beso Baby and the Beso Easy yarn, and then I pick up this wool, it's not very soft. But when I first picked it up, I thought the same thing, that it's just not that soft. And it's great that it's 100% recycled wool. I think it's going to make some nice sturdy slippers that will last a long time. But next to skin garment, it's just not something that I would recommend. So here is the crocheted swatch that I did. And I did some, I think, single crochets, half double crochet, and then double crochets in there, just to give you an idea. And then for the knitting, the crocheting wasn't so bad. You know, I use Clover Amour hooks, which tend to glide really nicely. The knitting, it was difficult. It was, the yarn just doesn't slide very well across the needles. I use Carbons by Knitter's Pride, I believe it is. And they are some kind of carbon with metal tips. And I only made quite the small swatch. I did a couple rows of the garter, and then I just did a few rows of the stockinette to give you an idea of the stitch definition, but I didn't go any further because it just wasn't very nice to work with. So a really good rugged yarn, I would say. Great for slippers, maybe a hat or a bag. A bag. Maybe for felting, but not something I would recommend for garments. So let's see, what else do I have? A few weeks back, I had talked about how I think I knit in my Keen Wonder tank top. I think I knit one side with one needle size and one side with another needle side. So the back sides seemed to fit well. The front was too big, and I just decided to re-knit the front side. Well, you know, I just have been thinking so much about fall that it's really hard to get back into it. And I don't think I've made much progress. Maybe I've done a few lines since we last started. I might pick it up again, but more likely is it's going to go in my whip pile for next summer, next spring, next summer. I have a couple of those where I'm just not into it anymore, and I'm already thinking about fall wear, you know, my knitting for fall, my crocheting for fall. One of the things that I'm going to make is the Baltian by Caitlyn Hunter. And here is the gorgeous yarn that I am going to be using. This dark gray, the accent color, is Huntington yarn. It's by Valley Yarns and Glasses. And let's take a look here. It's a 50-gram skein, 218 yards, and I have a couple of these. And it is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. So I'm using this for the accent color. And in case you're not familiar, I'll go ahead and put a picture up of the Baltian so you can see that. The next yarn is a yarn that I purchased on Etsy from Flower Garden. Let me pull the information here. This is so gorgeous. This is called Bookshop, and I bought a few skeins. It's 100-gram skeins, and it's 400 yards. It's sock fingering merino wool. And let's see. It's by Flower Garden Yarns, and you can see her label here. There we go. Flower Garden Yarns is what it says. This is so gorgeous. I love this yarn. It's my favorite yarn that I have currently, and I decided to cast it on right away. It's got all the colors that you'd find in an old bookstore, and the speckling is gorgeous, and I don't see a lot of pooling. If I do, I'll switch one row, the next row, the next row. Baltian is a knitting pattern, and here's what I've got so far. I did the I-cord cast on. Let's see, so you can take a look at that. The I-cord cast on, and I've done a couple of rows. I've joined in the round, and I've done a couple of rows. and it's knitting up wonderfully. You can see the colors, how speckled it is, and the colors are nice and spread out. Not too much of any one color. So Baltian is knitted with a US 4 millimeter or 3.5 millimeter US 4 knitting needles. You use a US 2 or 2.75 millimeter for the cast on, the I-cord cast on. And it looks like Caitlyn Hunter, who created the pattern, she used Magpie fibers. I'm really excited about this. I love batwing shirts, I think, because they are very forgiving, like A-line are. And it's got a nice wide neck. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And I just cast it on yesterday. I was wondering if Caitlyn Hunter does knit-alongs for the fall, because there's a couple of patterns I want to make of hers. The other one is Miss Arena and Gloam. Oh, there's so many. Okay, Miss Arena, there's a picture. And I'll put in a picture of Gloam, another one that's a cardigan. The Miss Arena is a pullover and Baltian is a pullover. So, okay. Next I want to talk about something I found in a box when I was cleaning my room. I made these slippers last year, and they are made, if I can remember correctly, from Lion brand Woolies Thick and Quick in color marble, and I don't know if they call black, but it appears to be the same yarn. I found these wrapped in a box, ready to ship, but I don't remember who they were going to. So I'll try again this year. Who knows? But they're kind of cute and just nice cozy slippers. But these are the Better Dorm Boots slippers made by Krista Basta, Chris Crafter, LLC. And you can find the pattern in Ravelry. It's a knitted pattern. And these are one of my favorite slippers to make. So yeah, I've already got one more addition to my Christmas socks and slippers I'm making. It appears to be a size 8, so I think it's a good addition for my holiday knitting. I also want to talk about what I have planned for the future. I did show you, let's see, I started the Baltian. I made blankets for everyone last Christmas, and I owe my mother one, and I owe my sister-in-law Melissa one. One of my daughters, I made a blanket out of the Hygge Hygge yarn, and it's Red Heart. Here's a picture of it. Let's see if you can see that. There you go. Red Heart. Oh, that's terrible. No, okay, let's scratch that. Red Heart Hygge. Okay, that's how you pronounce it, Hygge. Red Heart Hygge yarn, which is this furry yarn, very soft and squishy, but furry. So I made her a blanket out of that yarn, and I thought she was gonna love it. And then I washed it and dried it per the instructions, and it shrunk some, and the fur kind of balled up a little bit. It just didn't come out how I really wanted it to. So I'm making her another blanket this year for Christmas. Isabel, if you're watching, you can look away for this last, for a couple of minutes. And I last fall purchased, at the end of the fall season, I purchased on sale, good sales, this Color Made Easy yarn. It's a Lion brand yarn, and it's 200 grams, 7 ounces. You get 247 yards, and it's 100% acrylic. It's really nice and soft. So I got several colors, all the colors I could get at that time. So I did a cream color. It's called Birch, I believe. Glasses. I got this red, which is called Pomegranate. Oh, nice, nice, nice. I purchased black, which they call Caviar, and olive, they call Avocado. A gray, which they call coal, and a mustard yellow, which they call, I guess it doesn't matter because this yarn is discontinued. That's my whole point of this story. Well, 2 points. My daughter's getting another blanket and this yarn was discontinued. Mineral yellow. So I'm going to put all these yarns together to make my daughter a blanket to make up for the fact that the one that I made her last year didn't come out so good. So there's all the pretty colors, really nice kind of earth tone. I'm looking at a few different blankets to make. One of them is the Granite Rib Throw on YouTube, and I'll put a picture here. That's an option, and I would just make every other row, change colors every 2 rows to make it a nice stripe. The other one, there's a Picot Blanket, and these are crochet blankets, a Picot Blanket, so it's a stripes with a picot, and I'll put a picture here. And the third one I'm considering is crocheting the Boho Stripes Blanket, and of course I've got my volume on. Boho Stripes Blanket, which I'll put a picture here. And I would just, the stripes would just change colors every other, every 2 rows, kind of back and forth, change color, back and forth, change color. So I think she's gonna come out pretty good. I'm gonna make sure I make it extra large. I have 2 of every color here, so I'll more than make up for the blanket that she got last year. So anyway, I know I'm jumping around, but I wanted to talk about my ranunculus because I'm making good progress on it. I've done several inches, at least 4 inches, I would say, of the body, maybe 3 inches of the body. And I was kind of concerned because this bamboo yarn, as I'm adding to the ranunculus, it's getting quite heavy, and I don't want a heavy sweater. I wanted something light and airy, but I was planning on making it long sleeve, but I don't know. There was one viewer that did mention that her sweater was kind of heavy, and I was just curious if others thought that, and if maybe I should stick with short sleeve. Here's a clip with me with it on. Roll clip. Always wanted to say that. Okay, so here's my ranunculus. Actually, now that I have it on, it feels really good. Here's the neck, and I made it so it could be a nice wide boat neck, or it could be worn off the shoulder if I wanted. And I'll straighten it up so you can see. Let me stand up here. And I've gotten quite a bit of the length done. I do have part of it on stitch holders, part of it on the needle still, so I need to be careful here. And there you go. Okay, so yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it now. I don't know, maybe I just a moment of clarity that my ranunculus is, I'm doing pretty good. So other plans I have for the fall, I purchased the Harlow beanie from Andrea Mowry, and I wanted to make that for my son or my husband or maybe both. I also have the, I made my husband a beanie, which I really liked and wouldn't mind making again, from Joji Locatelli. And she has a fall cal, a knit along every year, and she's an amazing designer. Let me find that pattern. Actually, I'll just pop a picture in of that beanie. And so wanted to mention my Briochelicious. I was practicing doing the brioche stitch and had to put it down, and I'm hoping if I come back to it in a few days, it'll click in my head and I'll just be ready to go. But it still is on track for the making. And here's the colors that I chose as a reminder, 3 different colors. And then the main color that the stitch would be with, I had picked Cascade Heritage, this cream color, white color. It's an off-white color. It's a cream or ivory color. But I think I want to go with something a little darker here. You can see the difference if I hold them both up. This one is, I believe it's called Limestone Cascade Heritage by Cascade Yarns, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's the same yarn, just different colors. So I'm thinking I want to go for something more along the earth tones and use this color here. So that's my update for Briochelicious. Wish me luck. And the Harlow hat, this Briochelicious is knit flat. The Harlow hat that I'm thinking about doing, that's knit in the round. If I did do both of those, I would be really comfortable with the brioche stitch, which is kind of a goal of mine. So we'll see. I think that's all I have today. I really appreciate you coming to spend a little time with me, and I'm really enjoying podcasting, and I love reading all of your comments. If you could like this video and subscribe, that would really help me out in growing my channel. And I hope to bring you more content, and I always would love to hear from you. Any comments about the podcast or what you'd like to see in the future, if there's a yarn you'd like me to review or knitting needles. I was thinking about doing a video on my favorite things, and just as far as my favorite accessories for knitting and crocheting and my favorite knitting needles, that kind of thing. So that might be coming up soon. Let me know what you think about that. Okay, well, you all have a great weekend, and I will hopefully see you next week.